My name is Lance Keltner and I live here in Austin, Texas. I'm a guitar player, I'm a record producer, I do product demos for a lot of companies out there, and I've played with a few people you may have heard of in the past. I played with Tim Carr when he was on EMI Records. I worked with Rod Stewart. I played with LA Guns briefly. I've done some work with Mike Tramp from White Lion. Most recently, just did a Johnny Rawls record that just won Soul and Blues Record of the Year. When I was 10 years old, my plan is that I was going to grow up and join the Army like my dad and be an airborne ranger. And when I was 10 years old, I had a terrible fever, and they gave me phenobarbital to break the fever, and during the fever I tripped my brains out, and when I woke up I asked my parents for a guitar, and that was the end of the whole airborne ranger thing. So by the time I was 12 I was playing bars, and you know, started playing clubs and bars around Oklahoma where my dad was stationed in the Army, and then moved to Austin, and the rest just unfolded that way. Thanks to phenobarbital. When I was about 13 years old, I met these guys in Lawton who had a record deal on Capricorn Records, and they were kind of like the sort of Allman Brothers meets ZZ Top of Oklahoma, and my best friend was dating one of the guitar player's sisters. And he took a liking to me and asked to see my record collection. He took my Aerosmith records, he took my Kiss records, he took all of my rock stuff, and he handed me Hendrix, Are You Experienced, Robert Johnson's record that he did, you know, the collection of Robert Johnson songs, and he handed me Cream Disraeli Gears. And he said, when you've listened to this, if you want your Kiss records back, I'll give them to you. And so I lived with that music for about 3 months, and I never asked for my Kiss records back. My first gig was with a band in Lawton, Oklahoma called Dodge, D-A-J-H, which stood for Duane Allman, Jimi Hendrix. I was the youngest kid in the band. Everybody else were in their 20s or late teens, and I played a club. It was my first gig ever, and I played a club on a Friday night in front of a bunch of adults, and it was full of drunk bikers, and they thought it was cute that a 12-year-old was the lead guitar player in the band, and so it worked out all right for me. They didn't kill me. I was lucky enough to try an Asterope cable recently, and I found that for me, the definition of the tone was redefined. I was A-Bing my normal cable and the Asterope cable, and it was almost like an immediacy that was on the sound, where actually the notes came off the fretboard faster. With the Asterope cable, I ended up getting more clarity and more immediacy than I do with other cables, and the guitar cables are fantastic, and you know, I don't think there's another cable out there that's quite as good.